and welcome back to the Boakyewaa Glover Show. We're filming here at the studios of Graphic Communications Group, and I'm so grateful for their support in helping us bring this show to life. Today's episode is a little different, a true role reversal. I'm the guest on my own show. Veteran media personality Earl Ankrah is taking over the host chair to interview me, or maybe to grill me. Let's see how it goes. But I want to share how this came about. So back in season 1, I released an episode where I spoke openly about my struggles with chronic depression. Elle called me immediately after watching, out of concern, but also out of curiosity. Mm-hmm. And he started with, "Are you okay? What's happening?" And then quickly shifted into, "Why are you doing this? Why are you sharing? And who broke your heart? Who is this man who broke your heart?" He had so many questions that I finally said, you know what? Let's make this into a show. Come with your questions and I'll answer them. And I know he thought I wasn't serious, but I was. And here we are. Elle, you are welcome.
Thank you.
I'm really glad to have you here on the show.
Okay, so in your first episode, you told us who you are, more or less a profile, but I don't think you dug deep enough. You more or less generic, and I want them to know this is no ordinary person trying to start something on social media and all that. She's very strong. She's a very strong personality. Of course, she's told you. I mean, if you've not seen that one, look for the first episode in which she spoke about herself and all that. But at the moment, she's the director of administration of a very, very strong public institution, very, very prominent public institution. And I want us all to get that picture. Just tell us what you do at the moment.
Okay. Let's imagine a little bit of a James Bond scenario like where I live a bit of a double life. Mm-hmm. So I won't mention the name of the institution. Mm-hmm. But yes, my corporate life is I'm the director of HR and administration. Yeah. And well, I have 3 roles. I won't get into all the details, but at a, let's call it like a law enforcement agency in Ghana. Good. So that is my mainstream role that I have. Mm-hmm. And then I'm also doing what I would call mental health advocacy work, which is speaking engagements and things like that. And then I have the books, and then I have the media career, not as illustrious as your media career. No, you but I was at Metro TV for a while on Smash TV. Mm-hmm. And then I was at TV3 for a while as well. Mm-hmm. Reading the news alongside Nana Banamwa, Gifty Bingley, and even the current MD of my sponsor Graphic, Mr. Toafo, was also at TV3 at the time. Good. But I've worked at so many different institutions across my career in the UK and in the US. And in the US, I also worked for public agencies as well. So yeah, it's been a very interesting. I worked for the UN at a point. Mm-hmm. It's like, as you ask, I'm now thinking, oh my goodness, I've done so many different things, consulting, media. Yeah, it's been a rich career.
And it more or less runs in the blood. Excellence runs in the blood because your dad was a prominent public figure. Mm-hmm. And then briefly, and then your granddad. Yes. Yeah, so just briefly.
Okay, so let me start from my granddad. Mm-hmm. My granddad was Air Marshal M.A. Otu, Michael Akwoko Otu. He was a former chief of defense staff. He's actually one of the very few people who's been head of both the Navy, the Air Force, and the Army. And that's very, very rare. He actually got, and I will forget the name of the star, former President Kufuor gave him one of those stars. I mean, you might know what they are called, but he's been awarded, he's been recognized. A very prominent military personality. He also served with the late Queen Elizabeth. So on her very first trip to Ghana, he came with her. Wow. So in the pictures, we have a picture of him with her when she arrives to Ghana. So he served with her in the UK. So my mother was lucky. She grew up with all that prominence, you know. And then my dad was also a very prominent lawyer. He worked with former President Akufo-Addo. He was a staunch sort of like a public figure, activist. He was exiled at some point. But a lot of people also know him, James Amwaku Glover. He unfortunately fell sick. He had schizophrenia, something I discuss quite extensively on season 1. My mother too, she's also quite a prominent consultant. Quite a number of people know her. And she's Abena Otu. So there's a bit of pedigree. So I have a lot to live up to.
So then the question is, why do this? Because normally people of your stature would want to protect that.
Yeah.
Look, this is beautiful. I want that to be what I'm remembered for. Yet you came up with certain things that most other people, I must say, go through and try to protect. Yet you decided to come out. I have these issues, I have that and all that. We may have to take them one by one and grill them. But then I want to encourage people to watch the previous episodes. Why, after all this beautiful picture, did you decide to, I don't know if I should say, take out the dust and blow them out in public?
So I have to admit that before I get to the why, I do have to admit that some of my dad's friends and uncles and family members are not too happy with me. I have to apologize that I aired what they regard as his dirty laundry. So I know some of them have expressed that they're not too happy with me. Although some of them, there's one very prominent legal personality who heard me talk on Joy, and then he reached out through Joy and spoke to me and said, your dad would be so proud of you, and thank you so much for talking about his story. And I think that dichotomy I'm always going to face. There may be people who say, you shouldn't be doing this, don't talk about such private things. And there are people who are going to feel seen and validated and feel like it's important. Now, here's my perspective, regardless of other people's perspective, as to why I'm sharing. Now, I'm sharing because last year I went through something personal. What triggered all of this was heartbreak. It was as simple as that. I went through a very devastating heartbreak that really crippled me and hospitalized me.
Let me say, you should look for that episode.
That episode, Elle keeps repeating, go to season 1.
Yeah, go to season 1.
But I went through a very, very challenging heartbreak that affected me so profound. Like it broke a dam within me. And then I was just at home on a Sunday. I had some nephews with me. And my therapist, Dr. Paul Kumi at UGMC, had told me, you need to find a way to divert the pain, to divert yourself, because you had made this person almost like your entire everything. So I was just there and I decided that I think it's good to talk. And I felt I'd been blessed with a couple of things. I'd been blessed with articulation. I'm a writer. I'm articulate. And I've lived this life that it's almost like surreal. It's almost like it's a novel. And I felt that why not share? If it can help someone feel seen and understood and feel like this could have been their life. Because we have this impression that difficulty looks a certain way. Like mental health looks like those on the streets. It looks like neurosis. It looks like psychosis. Or illness, like we just have a picture of anybody going through struggle. You can see on their face that they're going through struggle. And nobody around me knew what I was going through. And I wanted to change that narrative of difficulty looks a particular way and show someone like me, to use your words, with a certain stature, going through what I'm going through. That's all. It's as simple as that. I wanted someone else to feel seen and to also get help. Because how do you explain to someone that I've been broken by heartbreak? It's almost embarrassing. And you feel guilty. So I want others to also realize that it is a real thing. It's a real phenomenon. It actually has physiological impacts. It's real to feel this hurt and broken. So I guess maybe I wanted to be selfish. I didn't want to feel alone in the trauma. I wanted others to know that it's real, so that you don't feel like you're being silly or you're being immature for hurting this much. That's what triggered it. And it's just by guidance of my therapist, I'm trying to shape that pain into something more. It's not easy when you have people around you sometimes a bit upset with you. And a cousin recently say that, your social media these days. You're sharing too much, but that is what I've chosen to do.
Let's start with, I'll try to go through them one by one. Let's start with the mental illness issue.
Okay.
Like you said, you articulated so perfectly that it isn't all about the looks, it's about what is going on, what is burning deep inside. What can you say to your fans or viewers about mental illness, the antisocial aspect of it, and how to deal with it?
So when I say I'm into mental health advocacy, my platform is really based on what I refer to as high functioning mental illness. It's the form of mental illness a lot of people don't recognize or even talk about. We think mental illness is all about neurosis or psychosis, which is you're seeing things, you're hearing things, you cannot function. But there are people who function, they go to work, they are parents, they are high profile, but they have deep and profound challenges. And the WHO says 1 in 4 people will either have a mental illness in their lifetime or they already do. 1 in 4. That's a huge percentage, which means in this room right now, including production crew, I'll raise my hand as the 1 in 4. But if you expand it, imagine you're in an office room. It could be that a quarter of the people you're with is struggling with something. And so what I want to say about the mental illness piece is that I want to help people feel seen in that struggle. So even if it is stress, even if it's depression, and I have chronic depression, people use some language very casually. Oh, today I'm stressed. Oh, I have OCD. Oh, today I'm depressed. But there are people who suffer from the clinical versions of it, which means it is chronic. And I want those people to realize that it is not something to be ashamed of or feel guilty about. It is a very normal thing to go through. And you just need to seek help and you can make it through. We also, in terms of the antisocial and the stigma, and that is why I'm taking the risk, considering the profile and the job I have, to say that we need to have compassion and empathy for each other. It's not just the people on the streets, but we need to have compassion and empathy for those who look like us, but may be struggling in a very serious and profound way. You're my friend. I'm sitting here. I have all these things. Do you view me differently? I know I'm asking you a question now, but and you are not supposed to be asking questions. And that's what I want people to ask of themselves. Why should you treat or view Boakyewaa or someone differently simply because they have depression or anxiety or schizophrenia or something? Why?
Yeah. Now, for sharing so much, aren't you concerned that it might affect you professionally at work? Because maybe one of your subordinates is going off course and you try to straighten them up and they say, I told you she has issues. How does that affect your job at the moment? And how do you feel about that?
It's a very important question. So it does affect me in terms of, it does worry me, but I try and weigh what the benefits and the risk would be. If I was in a lower level role, I probably wouldn't do this at all. But because of the role that I have, I feel a little bit more comfortable and confident to do this. Because the person may think it, but what can you do about it? Because I'm not abusive. I'm not sort of like, we have systems in place. If I step out of line, there are disciplinary procedures. If I am not fit for the job, there are medical procedures. Fitness to work can be initiated if possible. So it is something that if I was in a lower level rank, a superior person can easily take advantage of me having a condition and abuse me. But it's much harder to abuse upwards. Do you get what I mean? It's much harder to abuse upwards. You may think it, you may say certain things, but it's much harder to abuse upwards. In terms of me maybe treating people a certain way because of my conditions, there are also systems in place to prevent that. So I'm not saying it's a perfect thing, but also the laws of Ghana as such that the Mental Health Act says that once you declare your conditions, you are protected.
Yeah.
And I have declared to my boss very early before I even did the show, like months before I did the show. And once you've declared, the organization must make certain reasonable adaptations to support you. Okay. So now that I've declared, you are protected in terms of you cannot be fired or anything cannot be happening to you because of your conditions. And in terms of fitness to work, they must prove through a medical board. It's not the organization that will say that you're not fit to work. It has to be a medical board that will sit on it and determine that you are not fit to work because of your conditions.
Great.
So I feel I'm high functioning. I don't think a medical review board will say I cannot perform my duties, So I felt comfortable that I'm high functioning, I'm reasonable, I'm not abusive, so I can do this.
Great.
There will be talk and chatter, but as long as I have therapeutic support, I can do this.
Okay. Organizational psychology, you're very strong in that. How does that work into this? And
yes, thank you for asking, so that people know. I have a psychology background. So my background, my master's is in industrial and organizational psychology. So I'm a psychologist as well,
Right.
But organizational psychology, which is the study of psychology at work. So the study of people at work. So the way people think and behave and act at work. How you can make the most use of people at work. So because of that background and understanding, I know how to handle myself and, let's say, others at work. I know how to exist at work. I understand things like employee engagement, communication, motivation, teamwork, all of those things, which helps me in my role and also considering my conditions.
Okay, so then it's not just about recruitment to retirement, but a whole lot of...
The whole line of, so you can recruit someone, but how do you leverage them? How do you empower them? How do you make them feel a part of the organization? How do you gain their commitment, bring out their best in them? How do you bring out their loyalty? So that whole line, psychology plays a role. The WHO says we spend about, and that's why I chose organizational psychology, we spend about 70% of our waking lives at work.
Yeah.
And so psychology plays a huge role in the workspace. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's why I chose that.
Let's go to issues of obesity. You were so brutal on that. I even felt hurt because I'm thinking, okay, I must say, I also had the opposite of what you were feeling. Back in Accra Academy, I was small. I was as slim as a rake to the point that I got this name, Atia Donko, Atia, and they were calling me that way. Your chief executive was
Yeah.
And I used to cry about that. And then I grew up and people were like, Atia Donko, you know what? Musicians even sing in praise of women with that. They said, no. Then I'm like, I'm not a woman. I'm supposed to. So when you came out that way, but this wasn't something I was discussing openly. So when you came out that way, I was like, no, we all know weight gain is an issue. And I feel it's even not fair for people to think it's your fault if you are overweight, because I've been through certain things to try to gain weight. And I realized that, well, the medication I took got me eat. I could even eat a table along with the bowl along with the food in it. And so I realized if you have something like that in your system, you can't control it. Now, why did you get so brutal? Again, go to that episode on obesity and watch that. Why did you get so brutal on yourself? At least there's this part where you want to share concerns with viewers, with the public out there, but then you went up on yourself that brutally. Why?
Yeah, so in trying to be very authentic and transparent and vulnerable and real and all of that, which is my commitment to my show, I chose that topic because it is one of the biggest issues I have. No joke. There's mental health stigma, but people cannot see my mental illness. People see my weight. So I suffer obesity stigma more than I suffer mental illness stigma. The comments I get regarding my size are insane. And I start to internalize. So I'm very cruel to myself. I'll be very honest. I'm very cruel to myself regarding my weight. I don't like my weight. So even when we are filming or I'm at home, my instructions are, it should only be from this up. And you know how many chairs we sat through? Because I'm like, okay, this chair fits better than the others. And the others, I'll be like, I'm falling over the chair, or I'm like, my body is like spread too much over the chair.
Enough.
It's all because of my body. But that's what I go through. And so I have this, it's a strong word, but I'm going to use it because it's the truth. I have this disdain for my body, but I also have this respect for it. And so I just wanted to be honest that I don't like this thing that I have. I have respect for it because it gets me through the day. It gets me through life, and I'm very strong. I go to the gym 6 days a week. I lift heavy weights. I did a deadlift of 80 kg on Thursday. I like the kind of weights I do. I push 120 kg leg press. I do bench press of like 50 kg.
Check season 1.
Yes,
Yeah.
I sure. But season 1 was a while ago. I've improved since season 1.
Great.
So this is what I do. I'm so strong, and my muscles have come out. Like, I'm really strong, but I still don't like my body. So just recently, I sat with a doctor who told me point blank that due to certain medical factors, no matter what I do in the gym, no matter what I eat, I'm not going to lose weight. She hit me with the news. So just like you, no matter what you eat, the weight will just not explode. She brutally told me point blank, no fluff, that it doesn't matter what I do in the gym, my metabolic system is not going to allow me to lose the weight. I'm going to have to need medical intervention.
Now,
Point blank.
girls are told day in and day out, and most people are told, love yourself, love what you have, be proud of your body. Where do you stand on that?
I agree with it, but I'm not there yet.
Okay.
I agree that people should appreciate their bodies, they should love their bodies and all of that, but I'm not there yet. But I think it's not good to live a life where you hate yourself or you hate your body. It's a terrible, terrible mental thing to have. So I would say 2 things. 1, appreciate your body, but if you don't like it, make an effort to change it.
Okay.
And make an effort to change without hating yourself. You don't need to hate yourself. I wish I could internalize that. So I'm giving advice that I haven't internalized yet. But if you don't like your body, make an effort to change it, but don't hate yourself. Unfortunately, I both hate and respect myself. I don't know what to do with that.
So how are we working around that then?
Oh, I'm working through it. There's therapy, so I'm working through it.
Okay, the one on relationships. Another, go to season 1.
You are my advert for season 1. Thank you very much.
Again, we encourage people. Look, forget about him. Whatever he did, it's his loss, not yours. Get to know this. It's not your fault. Some people are not built for relationships. So if he can't go along with you, that's up to him. You're still in pain. For the want of a better word, you are an adult, for crying out loud. Why does it still hurt? Did you go in so deep? Okay, a lot of questions are flooding in. Just give me your earlier reactions.
Yes, I went in so deep. I felt very, very hard. This was a love thing for me. I was so in love. I was so immersed in it. I'm 46. So for me, when you're in your 40s, you're not dating like when you're in your 20s. You're dating like it's permanent. It's permanency. It's long term. It's like, this is it. So there was, some people date and they hold back, or they're not really in it, or they're trying to see how it goes, or they're in it for certain benefits. I'm not like that. I'm a very, what they'd say, like a highly sensitive, highly emotional person. And my mental makeup is when I give my all. I give my all. Like I give my all. So I was so immersed in this thing such that it really hurt. And the one before this, it took me 5 to 10 years to heal. So we can imagine how long this one is going to take. And the thing is, there's one thing I want to say very quickly, is I don't hate the other person. This is how I regard it to be. In relationships, it's not just about love. Love does not take us through relationships. It takes more than love for a relationship to be long lasting and to be healthy. You can love someone and it still wouldn't work. The way I see it, the other person just didn't have the skills or the capacity to handle me. And I'm a lot. I'm intense.
What do you mean by that?
I'm very self-aware enough to say that I have a lot of needs. I require attention. I require communication. I require reassurance. I require validation. I have chronic depression. I have all these issues that someone has to have the patience, the maturity, and the empathy to handle that. And that is not easy. I'm never going to sit back and say, but why couldn't you? That takes a lot of maturity, skill, patience to be able to date me. And not everybody can. I had hoped that he could have that patience and skill, but he couldn't. And that's fine. That was his limitation because I'm not an easy package.
But did you have you ever heard of the part where we advise that when you are in a relationship, you do you and let the other party do his, and then you come in together, maybe expecting everything from them, putting your whole world in their hands? It's a bit
yes,
dangerous.
So that was my unhealthy bits. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
That
But that wasn't your first relationship. How many relationships have you been in?
Maybe 5 or so.
5.
So I am now being more self-aware enough to realize that I really need to change these habits and traits. I go in too deep and I rely on the other person for almost emotional sustenance. Not for financial sustenance, but for emotional sustenance, to validate me, to love me, to keep me going emotionally.
But maybe
and that is not healthy.
Once he's done it once or twice, every now and then.
Yes, that's my issue. So that's why I'm saying I don't blame the other person too much. He has his own gaps where we were polar opposites. He's the type that maybe a whole week he hasn't spoken to, he's okay.
And he still loves you.
And he still loves you. Yeah. I cannot handle that. I need to hear from you on the daily basis.
Ooh, okay.
I need to feel that connection. You see, so I am not a terrible person. He's not a terrible person.
Can I ask you a personal question?
Please do. Was
he the one who broke your virginity?
No.
Who did?
Years ago. 46. Oh, my guy.
Okay, because someone might say, okay, this is
the physical connection and the emotional connection to me can be very different. Emotional connection is something else for me. This person got into my heart fully. So when you say I've dated before, it doesn't mean everyone I've dated got into my heart like this. This person got into my heart fully.
Okay, so it wasn't like, okay, at some point he did something bad, cheated on you or something, and then things go haywire, but he could not sustain your requirements.
Yes, and I also could not handle the way he was built. He couldn't handle how I am built. I couldn't handle how he was built. And he was built needing autonomy. He was built needing independence and space. He was built not having to justify or explain himself. So we're just different people. I require that I can call you and say, where are you? What's up? I need consistency. He is built that it's almost like he's a different entity, and then as and when he needs, he can come to you. It doesn't work like that for me.
Forgive me for probing this too, but okay, how long?
That's what you were doing on the phone, and it became a show. You're still probing. Let's go.
I hope I'm able to replicate what I did on phone. We're on cam right now, so
okay, all right.
Okay, so how long did you know him before getting into a relationship with him? Because we are told
on and off 20 years.
Really, but then we are told you will see those red flags before getting into a relationship. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. On and off. We're not that okay. So we knew each other in the way I know you, but then we became very close over a period of maybe 3 to 5 years before we started dating. But I couldn't see that because he was very attentive as a friend. And a lot of people do that. Yeah. They will show up differently as a friend than they would in a relationship. So as a friend, if you call, they'll pick up. And as a friend, if I say, I need you, can you come over? Never once didn't he come. Every single time I called him and said, can you come over? I'm going through something. I want to talk to you. Every single time he came. But in the relationship, it wasn't like that.
Possibly you were expecting more in a relationship.
Of course. For me, once you have the title of a partner, it's the same if someone has a title of a parent, a boss, a teacher, that title comes with certain responsibilities. So once you've transitioned from friend to a partner, I do have certain expectations of you. So to me, again, no animosity towards him. I feel pain because of how it happened. I feel pain because of the loss, because I've lost a friend. I've lost someone I thought I'd spend the rest of my life with. I've lost someone I really, really cared for. And it's extremely painful. I can't begin to describe how painful it is, but it doesn't mean I hate the person. You can feel pain without hating the person.
Okay, don't you think, okay, in case he's watching now, don't you think you are empowering him, that you loved him so much? He's going to be feeling good.
That's his matter.
Okay.
If he feels empowered, it's up to him. But for me, I'm sharing my truth. Whatever he wants to do with it, it's up to him. I can no longer be agonizing about how he feels, how he's going to react. I'm simply speaking. And that's what women do. But women play games. I'm not going to show him that I like him. I'm not going to show him that I love him. I'm going to withhold. I'm going to be cold.
I'm doing fine without
I'm doing fine without him. And then you're ahead, so then you go home and you're crying every night. No, I'm being very open to let people see that heartbreak can be extremely painful. But I also want to say, the way it happened, he did it through text. And even though we've met since then and he's apologized for the text, I do want to say that even when you stop loving someone or something isn't for you anymore, be kind in how you separate from someone.
Okay.
Because you never know the future. Just be kind. Words hurt. Things can hurt. Treat people with grace and kindness.
Okay. During the week, I asked Boakyewaa if we could invite her ex onto the show. And what was your response?
I said no, it was one word.
Why?
I said, oh, how? Oh, how? How?
We'll have a three. No, that didn't come right. A conversation.
No.
Okay, this is your camera. Let's say you're talking to him.
No.
Tell him.
No. I've had my conversation with him. It's okay.
Like a call. Hi, how you doing?
No.
Where's he now?
I'm not. I don't know.
You know.
I don't know. I don't know.
Okay.
Now, because of you, I won't even look into that camera anymore. Because of what you said, I won't even going to look. Let's move on from this.
Okay, Boakyewaa, let's talk about sex now.
The pain is
there.
Yeah, so let's move on from this topic now.
Okay, let's talk about sex. There are relationships and there is sex. Okay. When was the last time you got jiggy?
I'm celibate now. So last one was with him. I no longer want to date. I no longer want to have sex.
Okay, there is an episode on being single.
Yes.
Okay, you must watch that as well. Very deep. Why? So you've decided to be celibate. Why? Someone might say, okay, she got hurt, so she's decided. It's like, okay, back in school, you don't get breakfast, you don't get lunch, then you decide it is a fast. I'm fasting. There's a difference between having the food available, you're seeing it, and deciding you're on a fast. But then when it's not available and you decide you're on a fast, you're really not fasting. You've declared it later. Being celibate, is it because of the pain?
Or is it because of lack of?
Or is it because
no, it's not because of lack of.
I think, okay, so if someone comes forward and you're you're really gorgeous, what do you tell them?
So let me explain this. I was celibate for 9 years before this current person. 9 years. So the relationship I said took me 10 years to heal. After that relationship, I was celibate for 9 years. And there were so many comings during the 9 years, but I still held strong because I wanted the next one to be something that is serious and is going to be lifelong. So I withheld. So it's not because of lack of opportunity. My celibacy is not lack of opportunity. Opportunity there can be there. I can sign up to these apps right now and you will get.
Exactly.
There are people who are looking for sex and you will get. But it's a deliberate thing. So I did it for 9 years and then this person somehow got into my heart and spirit and I broke the 9 years pattern and dated him. I'm now back to celibacy because I don't want to go through this again. I'm too sensitive. I'm too emotional. I don't know how to have just random sex in my 40s. And I know that if I sleep with someone, emotions are going to get into the mix. And I'm going through too much in my life from a mental, medical, and social perspective that if another human being comes in and he can't handle it and he abandons me again, I'm not going to be able to make it. So I'd rather not. I want to focus on myself and my healing. I have a son. And just focus on my projects, my work, my son, my healing, my health, my weight loss. I don't need another human being to come in and divert that energy and then hurt me. Yes,
Okay.
Earl.
Again, why? Because so you don't get sexual cravings every now and then.
No. That's the benefit of menopause too.
No, but I've been told you could still be sexually active even
You can, but
when you're
menopause
young.
kind of dials down your sexual libido or whatever it is. So thankfully now that I'm in menopause, which I only got confirmation recently, it's made it a little bit easier to handle. But in general, I've never really been that. What I do miss is emotional intimacy more than sex. I miss being in bed watching TV with someone.
Yeah.
I miss, I got difficult news recently about my medical situation, and I instantly miss having the ability to call someone to say, this is what the doctor just said to me. I miss those things more. The companionship, the friendship, the emotional thing more than sex. Sex, me, I'll be honest with you, I don't miss sex. I just don't.
Do you use a rabbit?
I don't.
Okay.
Nothing. I'm talking zero.
Okay.
Let's switch now.
I'll be coming back to the. Okay. So Ghana recently lost two ministers and some very, very honorable public servants in a helicopter crash. You can relate. You've been through that before. Tell us about it.
Yeah, in 2007, my grandfather, whom I mentioned, he died and we're going to bury him, and he got a military funeral. So the helicopter was flying his body from Burma camp to his hometown at Edukrom, and I got on the helicopter. And en route to Edukrom, it was in January, Hamatan. The pilot could not see where he was going. He hit a pole, a mast. And right in there, I was like, what just happened? Then he went up again. Then he hit a church building. Then he went up again. And I think in that moment, I knew this is it. This is my end. We're going to die. And then he crashed. The helicopter just smashed onto the ground. It was I couldn't speak on this for years, by the way. Everybody managed to get out. I was the last person left in. I think it was my brother or my uncle who came back for me because I couldn't get my seat belt to open. I hit my head pretty hard. I was dazed. So they got me out, and the moment they got me out, the helicopter exploded. The whole thing just exploded. I was unconscious. I'm told they got me to Mampong Hospital. So the helicopter crashed in his hometown, Edukrom. So my grandfather's coffin was completely burned. His body was completely burned. They got me to Mampong, and then they got an ambulance to take me to 37, where I was hospitalized. It was myself and the two pilots who were kept at 37 for treatment. I suffered a concussion, scrapes and bruises. I was treated, and I suffered from PTSD. And even now, there are lingering impacts from that helicopter crash.
Sorry about that.
I've suffered head trauma. I'm still going through PTSD. It's not been an easy experience. And we lost my grandfather's body.
So you have a clear picture of what happened to the officers we lost recently.
Yeah, I think for them, what saved us, to be very honest, is if we had hit the ground immediately, I wouldn't be sitting here with you. Our speed was slowed because we hit the pole, we hit the chest before we hit the ground. With them, and I'm not an expert to be speculating, but there was nothing to slow down the impacts. They simply hit the surface right away and it exploded. We were just blessed that things stalled the trajectory before we hit the ground. Yeah. But eventually it exploded, all the same. The entire helicopter was burned. And they keep saying, the 13 people survived. But most people don't talk about what happened afterwards.
Because they were never the same.
Yes. And like me,
yeah.
I was treated for concussion. I suffered head trauma. And I suffered from PTSD. And I could not fly. I had to be sedated and put on a flight because I was at NYU at the time. I could not go back to school. They had to sedate me, and my mother had to travel with me and take me back to school. I could not get on the plane. So I don't even remember how they got me to the airport, on the flight, and back to New York. I was completely knocked out by medical staff from 37 before I could go back to school. And even in school, I could not travel for ages. I couldn't even get on car, bus. For 1 year, I was on medication for PTSD, for sleep. I was having nightmares. I didn't go to his burial. So they managed to gather ash, similar to the current people, for the burial. I wasn't able to attend that. I was in the hospital. Yeah.
I was going to ask, how has that impacted you? You spelled it all out. Then in your current issues, the issues we're discussing, how then?
So I just found out, and this is less than 24 hours ago, that I have a seizure disorder. I have epilepsy.
But you don't.
I don't convulse. I didn't know this, but apparently you can have seizure disorder without the shaking.
Hang on, before you...
So as I'm sitting here, I could have had, in the last 30 minutes, I could have had like 10 seizures, and I don't know.
Let's make this declaration. You know, health issues are supposed to be confidential.
Sure.
Yet you're spilling it all out.
Yes.
Are you okay?
I'm comfortable. I give my consent. I give my consent to discuss my health issues.
Okay. Seizures. We know people with epilepsy, and then sometimes when you're watching they'll say this photo.
So right now, I'm one of those.
Yeah. What does it mean? I'm fumbling. Forgive me. It was discovered when?
Just recently.
24 hours.
24 hours ago, literally. So I'm sharing something with you I haven't mentioned to a lot of people. The doctor told me 24 hours ago, because they called me in to do an EEG because they observed something, and the EEG was positive. It was abnormal. They detected my brain waves. I was having seizures. During the 10 minutes I did the EEG, I have seizures. I have severe seizures.
Yet you don't know you are having seizures.
No. As I was doing the EEG, I did not know I was having seizures. The technician told me I was having seizures. I was like, no, I'm not. I'm just sitting right here.
You didn't go to look for
I didn't go to the doctor looking for seizures. I went to the doctor about my weight loss, that I was struggling to lose weight, hormonal changes, a whole bunch of things. And he observed, and I shared that I have headaches. I shared my whole history. And based on my history and his observance, he ordered an EEG, and it came back positive.
It's a lot to take in. For someone, in that case, it could be any of us could be suffering seizures and not know.
So, me, in general, I'll just say that people should really take their health seriously. Get checkups seriously. Go for your annuals. Check a couple of things. Check inflammation. Inflammation is something people miss out on. Check your inflammation. Do a lot of scans. Give your doctor your full history. Have one particular doctor for consistency. Check your hormonal markers. Be thorough, because I've had these seizures apparently for years. It could be because of the helicopter crash. I've also had cerebrospinal meningitis. It could be because of the meningitis. It could be because I have inflammation. But people need to take their health seriously. In the last 2 to 3 years alone, I've had 6 diagnoses I didn't know I had. Menopause confirmed. Seizure disorder. I have seizures. Autoimmune disease confirmed. Chronic depression. Complex trauma. I'm carrying things. Borderline personality. It's like in the last 3 years alone that I did not know I have. And look at me. You wouldn't even guess. But these things sit hidden. And that is why, Earl, that is why I advocate.
Yeah.
That is why I speak, so that people know health or poor health or struggle doesn't just have one look. It can look like anybody, you, me, anybody. So we need to take these things seriously.
Okay, these are all real. Being an intellectual opens you up to get to know all these things itemized, but maybe ignorance is bliss. What could it be, that there may be other people out there having the same combination of circumstances that you're having, and yet they don't know, and so they're trying?
Yeah, so I don't know. Ignorance may be bliss, but for me, ignorance would have been life-threatening, because the seizure disorders are causing what they call brain atrophy. You are losing brain cells. It is affecting your brain. If it continues, I could have a brain stroke. The inflammation is affecting my body. The autoimmune is affecting my immune system. It can shut down my system. So not knowing in some years, literally, dramatically, let me put it, could have killed me. So I'm glad ignorance is not bliss for me. I'm glad these things have come up. And that is maybe the one plus side of the heartbreak. If it wasn't for that, a lot of this wouldn't have come up, because I got so sick and things just weren't working out that it just started like an avalanche of, okay, I'm not feeling well. Okay, this is happening, this is happening. And in the last year alone, since that text dropped, I've gotten more diagnosis. So I'm glad. It doesn't make me feel, it's still emotionally heavy for me, but I have names to these things. With names come treatment.
I'm going to have to wrap. I'm getting the signals on this. I'll wrap on the strong woman episode.
Okay.
I think it's in order like that. In all these things, you encourage others to be strong. But then there's an episode in which you say, it's tiring to be a strong woman. How would you navigate that? Especially
Earl, it's so exhausting. I've been resilient and strong all my life, and I've now entered my slow down era. I'm admitting that a friend of mine sent me a message about she's slowed down now, she's back to hyper, and I said to her, I don't think I'm going to go back to hyper. I think I'm going to be in a dialed down, slow down era from now on. I've lived most of my life being this serious go-getter, as you were describing me, this career climber, this, that. I think that is all done. I think I'm now in a phase where I'm settling in. I just want to focus on my health, on myself, and just pursuing certain things in a very sustainable manner. I'm no longer chasing to appear, to have it all, to do it all. I'm tired. I'm exhausted, and I'm allowing myself to be a different person, to be cool, calm, slow down, and just move at a certain pace, because I'm juggling a lot, and that requires a certain peace of mind that chasing everything, that's not for me anymore. So I'm strong, but I'm also allowing myself to be soft.
Would the girl power generation agree with you on that score?
I think so. I think it's an important balance to have the strength and have the softness.
Okay.
And to allow yourself rest and recovery.
Okay. If you were to do it all over again, what will you do about weight loss? Or would you, how would you psych yourself up about weight loss? How would you psych about
If I were to do it all over again, thank you so much for asking that question. Since that is your final question, I would take my health seriously. In hindsight, if I was in my 20s, I would take my health so seriously. I would get serious annual checkups, full blood work. I would work out, I would eat clean. I would take my health so seriously if I could do it again. But it's never too late. I am doing it now. And how much time that buys me, I don't know. But I'm glad I have found the things I have found out.
And relationship-wise?
I would understand myself better. I think the most important thing is self-awareness. I would have worked on myself more. I would have loved myself more. I think when you don't have enough self-awareness and self-love, that's when you depend so much on another person and you open yourself up to pain. If I loved myself more, if I could rely on myself more, I would have handled my relationships different. Yeah.
Thanks for doing this.
Yeah. I should say thank you to you. Thank you so much, Earl.
Thanks. You will wrap up in a moment, but please.
No, you're going to wrap up.
Really?
And you're going to ask them to subscribe, to share, to follow, and join us on the next episode. Me, I'm done. No, you are ending the episode for me.
Thanks for doing this. It's only when you subscribe that you get the latest whenever they drop. I think you should follow. You should share as well, especially share, so that many people will get to know. So what's to come in season 2?
Yes, so much more to come. So people should just keep watching. We're going to have more vulnerable conversations. I'm going to reveal more. And other people will also be on the show, experts, doctors, friends. So please keep following the Boakyewaa Glover Show. Subscribe, share. I need all the support I can get. So thank you, Earl. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, take care.